Kate, do you have another speaker for me?
Yes, we've got Lindsay in the room.
Randy, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, John. How are you doing?
Broadcasting from today.
Yeah, I'm coming from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Good old Charlotte, North Carolina, headquarters
Yes,
of Bank of America.
That's right.
The building there must dominate the skylight after fleeing San Francisco and the high rents here.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Well, Randy, why don't you go ahead and put your PowerPoint up there?
Okay.
And Randy Lindsay has been trading since 1987, focused primarily on stocks and stock options, but recently trades Forex and futures. He's an avid programmer and researcher, and he loves to apply his technical training to improve his trading. Randy is now a full-time trader, but his trading is his second career. He received his BS in electronic engineering and his MS in electro-optical engineering. He worked on various Defense Department contracts related to laser weapon systems and tactical missile seekers. His background includes extensive training in cognitive learning and recurrent neural networks. So, Randy, do you know anything about particle beam accelerators?
Yes, I do.
That's the new Navy holy grail for weapons.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when you can target and shoot down a mortar, it's a pretty aggressive system. You just watch them melt in midair. So that's
the initial use for this is going to be shooting down satellites.
right. Yeah. Well, that's going to be the easy part.
Yeah, satellites are kind of easy. Mortars, yeah, they're moving at what, the speed of sound or something like that?
Yeah, they're very supersonic. So
I got a feeling they're going to be used in Ukraine shortly if they're not already.
Well, if you don't know about it, then they probably are using it.
Yeah, I know. That's the good rule of thumb. So you have until 5 minutes before the hour, and then we give away more of our 100,000 in prizes for the week. I will go ahead and mute myself, and you have the floor.
Thank you very much, John. Hello, everyone. I'm Randy Lindsay from MT4Professional. I'm here today to talk to you about trading strategies using the MT4Professional platform and the scanner. And we're going to be speaking specifically about Forex, although we got a lot of CFD and if the broker supplies it, equity and futures instruments as well. I want to make sure and remind everyone that MT4Professional and Resilient Traders are not investment advisory service, and we're not registered trader broker dealers, so we cannot give you any specific advice. What we can do is teach and train you how to use our platform on the live edge of the market and how to set up and build a trading plan that is both consistently profitable and successful. Trading with futures, stocks, forex options, and crypto has a large potential for reward, but also has a large potential for risk. You need to be aware of the risks involved and be willing to accept them in order to trade or invest in any of these markets. Past performance is not indicative of future results, so please get advice from a competent financial advisor before you start trading or investing in any of these markets. And never, ever, 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 ever trade in a live account until you have first proven that you can consistently and profitably trade in a simulated account. And only then will you be able to tackle the mindset. Because get the metrics and the mechanics out of the way, then when you go real money, then you start working on the head game, because that's where 90% of a successful trades comes from, is the head. That's right. So again, I'm Randy Lindsay, your trade coach, operations director at MT4Professional. Joining me today is Claudio Cardinale. He's our product development director, all things technology guru. We are part of the Resilient team. I'm going to talk about trading strategies using MT4Professional, some of the more professional and some of the more popular ones. We're going to talk about what the market scanner is and what MT4Professional is. I'll give you a very live demonstration of the platform, how well it performs, and make you a very special offer due to the Mad Hedge Fund Summit that we're in today. And I'll always make time for questions and answers throughout the session. So use the chat box to ask your questions or comments, and I'll be glad to answer them as we progress. So let's go into these strategies. There are a lot of different strategies available today. So many that it would take all day just to name them all, let alone go through any specifics. But the most popular ones that we've come across that are available on either MT4 or MT5 are the MA in price. That's exponential moving average and price. That's pure price action relative to an exponential moving average. Next is a MACD and signal strategy, where you're looking at trying to determine convergence, divergence information off of a moving price. And so we're looking for overbought, oversold, or signals to either get in and get out. Moving average crossovers are probably the most popular. Most people use moving averages, but they're always so lagging that it's really hard to implement those unless you're trading them with multiple time frames. But moving averages are good to help you to see overall trend direction and how to trade and when to either be long or short. There's always the combination where you're coupling pure price action with MACD and signal. Throw in a relative strength indicator to help you to see overbought and oversold conditions to get out or in at peak times. And then you've got the ever popular alligator indicator, which uses 3 moving averages, exponential included, to determine longer term trend direction and price. So we're going to be going over a lot of these strategies, plus any that you have interest in, and show you how MT4Professional Scanner can look up and identify and alert you to when any of these strategies produce potential opportunities. So what is a market scanner? What is MT4Professional, you might ask? Well, if you consider all of the pairs that are available for you on the platform, 50 Forex pairs, 20 CFDs, 9 different time frames, and that's just on MT4 alone, that's more than 630 combinations to look for. But do you really think that you're able to manually scan through all those combinations to try to find opportunities? I dare say you're probably missing just a few. Well, today, trading on different instruments is important, and it's a must if you're going to make trading profitable. In fact, trading uncorrelated instruments is the best way to remove uncertainty and to diversify your portfolio. So you need something to be able to look for those uncorrelated instruments to determine the best setups that are there. A perfect solution for that is a market scanner. Now, in an ideal world, a market scanner would automatically scan through the entire market universe, looking for any symbols or time frames based on your custom rules and give you an indication of an opportunity. So looking for a scanner not as a signal provider, but as a tool, it can allow us to analyze our strategies, whatever strategy we want, using any indicator at our disposal to apply it to our search. So one example, and I mentioned this earlier, is a cross of 2 moving averages. So let's consider the image over here on the right. So for any symbol that I want to search for, or whatever time frame I apply it to, I want this spreadsheet to show me a bullish cell, which would be identified by green, or a bearish cell, which would be identified by red. A bullish cell would turn green if I have a bullish cross of the moving average, which means the fast moving average would be greater than the slow moving average. And the bearish cross would be when the fast cross is under or is less than the slow moving average. So very simply, you're looking across very fast all of these symbols. You can determine which ones are very bearish, which ones are very bullish, which ones are in a trade setup opportunity, and they're getting ready to go. So it's really nice to have something that's doing all that work for you, and all you have to do is sit back and wait for these signals. So how does it work? A market scanner does all this work for you in the background, like managing. And so we can focus on things like managing the trades or putting our mindset where it belongs. But once the market scanner is set up, it searches for the conditions that meet your own specific rules, which is your strategy. It's buy at this specific point when these rules are met. It should be able to search for that. then it should alert you when these conditions are met and favorable for an entry. Here's another example using pure price action and an exponential moving average. I want to see a green cell in any time frame or on any symbol when price is trading greater than the EMA. And I want to see a red cell when it's trading below or less than the EMA. Those are bullish or bearish sentiment. So I can see that the dollar Canadian is very strong across multiple time frames, which shows me it's in a strong trend up. NASDAQ, the S&P, they're all trading down. So much shorter trend time frames. So 1 and 5, those are small time frames, but I just picked those as examples. I usually trade much longer time frames personally. So what about time frames? What about multiple time frames? Well, did you know that if you trade using multiple time frames, you have a higher probability of a profitable trade? Well, this is due to correlation. It's just one of the advantages of using multiple time frame analysis. So if you look at the right at these 3 charts, you've got the same trade time in the envelope, but one is at a 4-hour, one's at a 1-hour, and one's at a 15-minute. Notice how noisy the 15-minute envelope is compared to the hour, or how noisy the hour is compared to the 4-hour. The longer term cycles show you that if you're trading these shorter term time frames aligned with the longer term trend, you're going to have a higher probability of a successful, profitable trade with much lower risk, because you're not going to be taking these corrections that are not aligned with the longer term trend. So if we had a market scanner that could help us search for these types of setups and verify them with multiple time frame analysis, that would be an extremely valuable tool. So here's a very quick example. You can see the crosshair that's on the screen here. That shows an alignment on the 4-hour chart where I have a MACD signal giving me a bullish cross. I have a relative strength giving me a positive slope, which is a building strength. And I have a crossover of the exponential moving average with my price. That's the signal that I want to see as a bullish setup. And the next signal I want to see is a cross of the MACD and a bullish relative strength. And the last thing that I want to see, even though it is a bearish trend, I want to see if the weekly relative strength is gaining strength or bullish. So those are the 3 conditions that I want to see to get me into this trade. At that point, it gives me a good consideration for the trade. And you can see from this that we were over 300 pips later. Is a really nice trade. Excuse me. So the idea behind that is to use multiple time frames to analyze the trade and to get you in at the opportune time when everything has aligned. You don't want to be getting in prematurely because you don't know if the market's going to continue down after a short pause and test of the EMA. You want it to be on a period of weakness, not on strength. So you want to act when the signal gives you the confirmation that the multiple time frames have aligned and have given you a go. So by taking trades in harmony with the longer time frame, I get lower risk trade opportunities and higher probability trades. That's a powerful combination for any trader, as showing the importance of using multiple time frames in your trading. So if a market scanner can use multiple time frame analysis, it would be an extremely valuable tool because it does all of that for you automatically. But the problem that we faced as professional traders was we could not find a scanner on either MT4 or MT5. So we decided to make our own. Ones we found were too complex, which meant you had to be a highly skilled programmer. They were either unstable or maybe they were single tools that weren't integrated with the entire system. And many of them were just incompatible with all the free indicators that you have access to. Well, there are a lot of other issues. So like I said earlier, we decided to make our own. And that's what MT4Professional is all about. Right now, MT4Professional is the #1 market scanner on MT4 and MT5. It's a tool that allows you to instantly scan the entire market for setups that match your own unique criteria and rules. And when you find a good setup, MT4Professional allows you to enhance it with technical analysis, giving you multiple time frame analysis, which really is not too easy to do on MT4 or MT5, but we do it for you automatically. So stay tuned. We're going to go right into a live demonstration. I want to talk and show you the platform and give you some examples of what MT4 is all about. Now, you can see the chart I've got set up here. This is my MT4 platform. Running just standard MT4. I'm not in MT4Professional at all. MT4Professional is an overlay platform extension of the MT4 platform itself. I have it set up in a separate profile right here, but I wanted to show you a few things first before we get going into that. Notice that on the 3 different charts, I have them set up on 3 different time frames, but I have the same symbol on each one. If I wanted to change the symbol, I can't go over here and just click on my market watch or do anything. I have to physically drag and drop a character over onto the chart that I want in order to change it. So the change that comes from that has to be manually done. Also, if I wanted to expand my charts, or if I wanted to go into full screen mode, notice all of the dead space that's outside of this window. That's wasted space, and I have to physically redraw each of these windows in order to get them to fit. Now, if you know a little bit about it, you can automatically draw them and make them bigger or smaller if you want to, but you still have to physically go up here and manually enable them to be redrawn. So a better way would be for them to do it automatically. And what if I had windows that were not all the same size? And here's a good example right here of windows that are not the same size. See this, these 2 windows are smaller than these other 3. So if I were to do any of the automatic tilers, they would mess them all up and I'd have to physically redraw them all anyway. All right, so when I go to full screen, you can see I still have all this wasted space. And how am I going to optimize the real estate on my screen without having to physically go through and do that? That's just a real nightmare. Last but not least, you can see that if I need to see a correlation, let me pull that in again to show you the tediousness of this. If I want to see a correlation of when this current chart went in, at this point right here, you can see I've got an initial sell signal. I have to align my cursor at that point and look down and see the date and time when this occurred, so that when I go over to my secondary time frame chart, I look at the same overlay and find out the same time frame occurred at this point. I'm looking for certain conditions to determine whether this is tradable or not. And then the third time frame, I've got to do this exact same thing. So I can't just with one movement look at that to determine whether that's really going to be tradable or not. And I can't see the alignment on all 3 of the charts at the same time either. So those are some issues that I wanted to address, but let's go and launch MT4Professional now. First thing you'll see is a blank screen that comes up, and then you'll see a configuration screen that shows you. So you see not only a blank background, but a set of configurations that allow you to pull up charts the way you've designed them. Okay, the presets are all of the pre-configured examples that we provide for you. But I'm going to go ahead and pull up the EMA and price. The EMA and price is a tool that the strategy that looks at the close of the current price relative to a 15-period exponential moving average. If we see a close greater than the EMA, then we're looking for the scanner cell to be green. If we see a cell closing less than the EMA, we're looking for the scanner cell to be red. So looking at the conditions that we have here, we can see that across the 1, 5, and 15-minute timeframes, the euro US dollar, the pound US dollar are all bullish. And you can see very quickly, yes, they are, and yes, they are. Second thing I want you to notice is that I have a blue cursor on my screen. And that blue cursor can scroll and you can see it automatically updating on all 3 of my time frames. giving me a very good, accurate, multiple time frame analysis capability. So when I see a very small pullback and then I return to the trend at this point, you can see that I'm still in a long-term trend on both the 5 and the 15, giving me an excellent opportunity to re-enter at this point with a 5-point risk and a potential 35-point gain. All right, so that's a 7-to-1 reward risk ratio, which is excellent when you're looking at that. So just considering multiple time frame analysis in your trading will help you to see and take advantage of that. Well, let's look at the setup now. So you can see, how am I getting these cells to tell me whether that's bullish or bearish, and what are we looking at? And how do we get these symbols to load in here and the time frame setup? So if we go under the configuration and look for the edit button, this allows me to edit this configuration. The right-hand side allows me to edit or change the settings for how I have the charts laid out. Notice I have one large chart and then 2 smaller charts over on the right. This configuration has that same thing set up as 1 large, 2 small. I have a time frame that I can set it to from a very easy pull down menu. I can select any template that I want. Templates are what gives it the look and feel, what loads the indicators and the other things that make it look like this on the chart. I have them all set up for the EMA and price, but if you wanted to, by clicking the plus sign, you can load any template available to you on MT4Professional or MT5 for that matter. So just select the template that you want and load it up in. And you don't have to have the same template for all 3 charts. You can set up any template that you like. Over on the left-hand side, you can see the configuration for the symbol list and for the scanner itself. The symbol list can be configured from any symbol that you have access to on your platform. Any symbol at all can be selected and moved over by clicking the right arrow. I'll just try one here just to show you that. And if you don't particularly want that particular symbol, then just get rid of it that way. You can clear the entire list to start over. If you have another configuration that you already set up the symbols on, then all you have to do is just click the start from another configuration, select the configuration you like, and it will automatically select all of the symbols from that configuration. And last but not least is the actual scanner itself. Now, this is the definition of the color rules. Now, a color rule, what's the rule that causes the cell to be what color you want, is based upon your own strategy. So I have one that I call the main color rule. I have it turned on. It's a little tick mark here. And this is the edit button. This allows me to update or to change the strategy rules. Within the rules, they're very simple, easy to use comparison items where I'm looking at the first item, which is the close of price. The operator, it has to be greater than or equal to the comparing item B, which is my 15-period exponential moving average. How do I get these in here, you might ask? Okay, well, if I click the plus sign here, then it gives me the ability to add another condition. So let me go ahead and put in another moving average. So I'll click the plus sign. I'll choose an indicator. From up here, you can select any standard indicator that's on the platform, MT4 or MT5. Any trend gives me the ability to look for a moving average, ADX, standard deviation, any of the other tools that you see. I'll pick the moving average. And the moving average, I want it to be the previous one I have is a 15-period exponential. Well, here I want to have a slower moving average, so I will have a 20 or in this case, if it's 15, I'll make it a 50. A 50-period simple moving average based upon the close of price. And so I'll apply that to my chart. So a 50-period simple moving average would be the thing. So I want to see if it's bullish if my 15 is actually greater than the 50. So let me pull up the 15. Let me put this greater than, and then now let me pull up my 50. So there, now I have not only a close of price greater than the MA15, now I also have a longer term 15 cross of my 50-period simple moving average. This gives me a much more confirmed condition that will tell me this is a much more stronger bullish run. Now I can add any other conditions I want to here because the AND operator allows me to do this and this and this and so forth and so on. If there's a condition that I don't want, then just simply hit the trash can and it removes it from consideration so that it only executes this right here. It always goes left to right because now you see there's an OR operator here. So the first condition is checking for bullishness. If it's not bullish, the OR operator comes into play. It's either this or that. So if this is true, it makes the cell green. If that is not true, then it goes and evaluates this condition. Well, is the closer price less than the 15 EMA? If it's true, it'll make the cell red. If neither of these are true, if that is true or that isn't true, then it will make the color of the cell yellow, which is the default fallback color. Now, I'm giving you a lot of information here. Please stop me if you have a question along the way, or if there's any other questions you might have, and I'll be more than glad to address those as we progress. So these are the conditions that cause my cell to go a certain color. I call it my main color rule. Now, notice I have it applied to multiple time frames. I have 3 cells here, columns, 1 minute, 5 minute, and 15 minute. Well, here's the 1 minute column. Here's the 5 minute column. If you scroll down, then there's the 15 minute column right there. I can add another column if I wanted to by clicking the plus sign here, and it's just that simple. Go up here. I'll make this next one a 30 minute. And I want to apply the same color rule that I had on the other ones. So I'll just turn it on and boom. That's all you need to do. Now I have 4 different time frames applied on my scanner, and it will go through and scan through all 4 of these time frames looking for a cross of the exponential moving average. I guess I decided I didn't want that one, so I'm just going to get rid of it. So I'm back to 3. If I want to get rid of the other one, then that would be only 2. Okay, so it's that simple. It's very easy to use and very straightforward. Always click the save button when you're done editing. And when you close the window, always hit the load button because any changes have not been loaded or saved to the cloud and it needs to be updated to your chart. So click the load button and it will load any of the new changes that you've just made and apply it to the charts. You can see the scanners running through each of the setups and scanning through them all. And so what it's looking for is it's looking for the conditions that cause the cell color to be a certain thing. So I can very quickly scan through all of these symbols to look for potential trade setups, bullishness, bearishness, or longer term trade opportunities. Very nice, very easy to use. These configurations can alert you whenever the condition is ready for a trade. All you have to do is turn on real-time notifications, and it can even send you an SMS if you verify your mobile device on here. All of the tools are cloud-based, and so all the configurations I'm showing you today are all backed up in the cloud. So if you lose your hard drive, or if your computer blows up or stolen, you don't lose your configurations. All you have to do is download a fresh copy of MT4Professional, install it on your MT4 platform, and you're back up and running without missing a single beat. And talking about missing single beats, if you take and edit the configuration, notice in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a small little share icon that's there. Well, if you're trading with more than one person, or if you have a group of traders that you trade together as a team, you can share all of your configurations that you've just created with all of your traders so that everybody is on the same page at the same time. And if they've created something, they can share it with you. And so that makes sure that everybody has all the same tools that you're working with to show you that. Also, MT4Professional is, go ahead and pull this up here again. No, we want to do that. I do want to do this. That's what I want to do. I'm on a browser right now, and I'm going to go to MT4Professional's website. And I'm going to log into the members area. So this is where you go when you become a member. right on the very first front page of the home page, you see the software download information. So you can download any version for either MT4 or MT5 right from the main page. We also have a 6-step onboarding process. We walk you through every single step along the way to help you get set up and going, to include a live Skype group, how to set up and configure your first setups, and the documentation and help center. What I wanted to show you with this is that because this is a browser, and say, for example, I'm here on my platform trading away and I want to go to lunch and I'm getting hungry. I want to leave my platform. So usually that means, okay, I don't have any trade opportunities I'm going to be able to see. Well, those days are gone with MT4Professional, because simply pull up your mobile device, pull up a browser on your iPhone or your iPad or whatever tablet that you're using, and log into the members area. Then click on the real-time scanner link that's on the top. Notice when I pull up my account that's running, now this is the account that I have set up here on my platform. Notice that the scanner window is displayed in real time over here on the right. So any changes now that occur here on my platform are automatically updated for me on my mobile device. And if I were to click on any of these symbols, now notice I'm currently on the Euro US dollar. If I were to click over on the pound, all I have to do on my mobile device is select that symbol by clicking on it or tapping on it, and it will automatically on my platform at home change the symbol, take a picture, and send it to me. Now that is sweet, because not only does it give me the opportunity to see a potential trade setup that's coming, but it'll alert me to the fact through the alert system, a notification to tell me when a time frame or a scan has been notified, and whether a trade opportunity is there. And if I see a trade opportunity right in front of me, I can contact my broker right off my phone and execute the trade without having to go back to my home office and do it manually. That is a really nice feature, and it's all in real time. And any of the snapshots that you take, either using the snapshot icon on the platform or that you've done screenshots for, all can be saved in the cloud, and you can create them either as public or private addresses, and you can make your whole page, which is stored in the cloud, a public or private page so that others can access it. So here's the link to your page as a public or private page, and any additional pictures that you have taken, if you've set them up as private, you don't want to share them with others. But if you have ones that are public, like this one, then it provides you with a specific link to this image so that you can share it on all of your social media platforms or with your specific friends to show them your trading prowess. So all of that can be tagged as well so that you can look at specific ones or groups that are based on specific characters as well. Okay. So I just wanted to point that out and show you how nice and easy the platform can be configured and used. Now, all the examples I'm showing you are based on indicators that are already available on MT4 or MT5. But what if you have a lot of custom indicators? Or what if you purchased a lot of third-party indicators? Do they work with the platform as well? Absolutely, they do. Let me pull up a configuration that does that. Shows you the Hawkeye tools are pretty good tools. So let me load those up and show you a configuration that's being used for those. Now, Hawkeye tools show you price action, volume, multiple time frames and a single glance, giving you nice signals for alignment, showing you where the best opportunities enter. Trading with these give you the opportunity to not only identify the trades, but to take the trade and to take fixed profit targets, either based upon a 1-level risk. You have 1, 2, or 3 level profit target, a 5 level, or even a 7 level target for your trades, always keeping money management at bay. So looking at this, the scanner is searching for opportunities to get in. The data window that you see over here on the icon or under view, data window, allows you to see the output of any indicator that's loaded. So by using these custom indicators, I can move my mouse over the screen, and if I'm looking at the trend indicator here, then you can see here that the trend indicator has a long output, the trend indicator has a short output, and it has a neutral output. Those are displayed as green, white, or red. Red is the short, green is the long, and white is the neutral. So whenever my mouse hovers over any of these indicators, then you can see that the output changes from a long, and I'll move it now over to a neutral. And there you can see it, the output changed to a neutral. Now it's over to a long. Now it's back over to a short. So what I'm looking for, the scanner, I want the scanner to search this indicator. And I want it to tell me, when is it long, when is it short, or when is it neutral? I'm looking for that. The same thing occurs on the other indicators as well. I want to see when the alignment occurs. When I have a green trend dot, when I have a bullish trend, I want to see the momentum indication strong. I want to see volume biased heavily towards the buyers. And you can see I've had a really steady trend of buying activity coming into this move. I want to see the longer time frame trends to be neutral or bullish. I want to see longer time frame volume to be bullish. So those are the conditions I'm looking for. So when I see bullish, bullish, bullish across the 3 time frames, trend, volume, heat map, volume, heat map, and volume across 3 time frames, I know that I'm going to be getting into a good trend. And when it first turns or changes, like you can see here on the pound New Zealand, it's white. So I have a white trend leading into green volume and a green heat map. This is setting up for a nice entry. So I look for those types of setups to help me to see the transition. So if I start to see red volume coming in, then if I'm in a long trend, I know that I might be topping and I might be getting ready to reverse. So that's the idea behind that. So you can see very quickly, really nice setups that are coming. Well, how can I set this up in MT4Professional? Well, that's what the data window is all about. The data window gives me the output location. So this is output 1 of the indicator, output 2, and output 3. If I have another indicator like the volume, then here that's output 1, that's output 2, that's output 3. So I'm looking for those specific information. Here the heat map has 4 outputs, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's all you need to know. But the main thing you need to look for then is the first one. What is it? Well, for the heat map, the first output is the weak up signal. A weak up signal is a dark green. A bright green is a strong up signal. A dark red, that's a weak down, and then the bright red is a strong down. That's what you want to see off of the outputs. So when I pull my configuration up and edit it, and I go to my scanner, then what are the rules that I'm using to get those cells to change to those specific colors? Well, you can see that I've broken it down into 3 different strategies. I have the trend strategy, the volume, and the heat map. I want to see if the trend number 1 is green, the volume is green, and the heat map is green. That will give me a long trend. But if they're not, then that would get me a short trend. So let me edit the trend just to see what that does. I want the cell to be green if my trend indicator, which is output 1, that's the long, and I've changed some of the other parameters as well, it has to be greater than 0. So anytime it's not on, it will always be 0. If it's triggered, then it will be greater than 0. It's that simple. Did you notice the output on the charts when I was showing it? That shows that output. So looking at that being greater than 0 gives me a bullish condition. It really is that simple. If that's not true, then it's going to evaluate to see if it's red. So is the trend indicator output number 2, is it greater than 0? And then it's going to evaluate, well, if neither of those are true, then is the output 3 greater than 0? If it is, it's neutral. If none of these conditions are true, which they always will be, but if none are true, then it will change the color to yellow. Very, very straightforward. How do I load that? Let me click the plus here and another plus here. Choose an indicator. Pick from your computer. From here, you can select any indicator that you have, whether you've purchased it as a third-party add-on, or if you've already had it, or even if you wrote it yourself. You have full access to the full library that's there to open them up and to use them. So any indicator, I'll just open that up here. You have the ability to set the parameters and to choose the indicator line. Now these are the output orders that I was showing you about. So if you click on this, you can see it's just a simple pull down list. So if output number 1 is a strong trend, then you would select it. If you wanted to see output number 2, then you would select this one. That would be the strong downtrend, and so forth. So the idea behind it is very simple, and it's very easy to walk through it. But if you do need help to configure these, click this button right here. You can schedule a conference with us, and we'll be glad to help you out. I have them set up on a 5, 15, and 30-minute time frame. Notice that on the 5-minute, I have all 3 of my strategies configured and turned on. On my 15-minute, I'm only using 2 of them. I'm not interested in the trend. I'm just only looking at the volume and the momentum. And my longer time frame, well, I'm only looking at volume. I've got the other ones turned off. So it's really simple to configure these to be just the way that you like them. And that's what trading really is all about. You want it to be limited by your own ideas. You don't want the system to limit you. And that's the whole idea behind that. And since we're traders ourselves, we wanted to develop a platform that was ideally suited to help us to trade. And that's why MT4 is so popular these days. Are there any other questions with regards to this? I've got one here that's a little more complicated as well. I've got about 10 more minutes, so I'll very quickly go through this. What I'm looking at is an example where we're using price action relative to a moving average, MACD crossover, and relative strength. Now, I was showing you these examples earlier, and I gave you one that was there, but you want to be able to see when these occur. So when you see price crossing over the EMA in line with these things, you want to see that crossover point. All right, so the idea is to be able to see that. So if we look at the configuration, then you can see that I have established a strong signal rule. The strong signal rule is looking for a MACD crossover. Now that MACD is based upon the baseline indicator and a signal line. So I'm looking to make sure that the baseline indicator, which is the white histogram that you see right here, I want to see if that baseline indicator is less than the red signal line. If that's the case, I want this to be a bearish condition. So the bearish condition occurs at this point right here. Whenever you see the histogram going underneath or less than the red signal line, that is the bearish condition I'm asking for here. And in addition to that, I need to see price closing less than the 15-period exponential moving average. And I need to see that relative strength slope is down. So I'm looking back 2 price bars, and I need to see if the price bar 2 bars ago is greater than the current price bar. Well, if that's the case, that means that the relative strength is declining. That means it's a negative slope and my strength is going down. All of these have to be in play in order for it to be true. Now, if you use Fibonacci's or if you have numbers that are come up and they are displayed on your data window, then absolutely any value that you have access to can be triggered off of. You can check that output relative to a constant or another indicator to use as a signal. So any template that you're using fib or zones in for signals can be used within this as well. The corollary, the bullish trend, is just the opposite. I also have one that's only looking at the trend. Notice I have two strategies, but in this whole strategy, I want to always be trading in the direction of the weekly trend. Well, the weekly trend is just looking at the 15-period EMA and the close of price. So if price is greater than the EMA, then it's going to be a bullish condition. I don't want to take bearish trades in a bullish environment. And this is a bearish condition. I don't want to take bullish trades in a bearish condition. Okay, so that's the idea behind the strategies and the setup and the conditions and settings. So looking at this very quickly, then you can see these I don't want to take bulls yet. These I don't want to take bears yet, and so forth. And so that tells me in a glance what I'm ready to trade. And then when they do come up in line, like the New Zealand Swiss here, that's a good setup, waiting for a second time frame to confirm, but I'm in line with what I'm trading. So I like that. You're not limited in any way by your own application. If I wanted to shrink my window, notice that all of the windows automatically resize. And if I want to expand them, they automatically redraw. If I wanted to change any symbols on the charts, all I have to do is just click on the symbol on the left, and it automatically updates all of my charts to the symbol that I'm looking at. Okay, no more hunting and pecking for what you're looking for. Everything appears at just the right place at the right time. I love that. All right, so let me get back to my presentation, because I want to give you a very special offer before we head on out. For a limited time, we offer the entire complete MT4, MT5 professional system for you. The exclusive access to our Skype community, unlimited configurations, unlimited emails and push notifications on the cloud, including 100 SMS notifications per month. If you need more than 100, then just contact us and we'll be give you a new package. And all 14 of the pre-configured presets are all included. Those are the strategies that I was just showing you. All of these pre-configured examples are included in that. Of course, you're not going to pay $22.95 on that. You know, we normally give it for $194. We discount that for special events to $97. But for today's event with Matt Hedge Fund Trader, we're knocking that down an additional 20%. So we're taking our 50% off, knocking it down an additional 20 for only $77 a month. Use the code MattHedge20 on the checkout. You can even get a 14-day free trial. So sign up, enter your MattHedge20 deal to lock in the discounted price, and you'll get 14 days to try it out absolutely free. These are the full version of the platform, not just a trial version, or it's not only for 1 month. And the special lasts the entire length of your subscription. So if you cancel after 1 month, the special goes away. If you hold on to it for 2 years, then it's going to be the same price in 2 years. It's not going to change. So you get the discount, not just for the first month of the first quarter, but you get it for the life of the subscription. All right, so 14 days, you can cancel at any time, and you get full access to the software without any charges, and it will not charge your credit card until after the 14th day is complete. Cancel anytime within that. You can use the full 14-day trial, and then the charge won't apply. If you have any questions, then you can always contact us at support@mt4professional.com if you have any questions, or if you have anything you want to try to address that. When you go to the link, mt4professional.com/trial, make sure that you use the code MATHEDGEFUND to get the 20% off, because the normal price then right now is $97 at our current 50% rate. Okay. Okay, this is the last section for open Q&A. So I've got my system set up, ready for any questions that you might have. Yeah, pull that one. Any specific analysis you want me to look at? Any specific strategy you want me to try to quickly come up with? I'll be more than glad to do that for you right now. If you have any specific questions about the platform or how it's used, it can be used for any symbols. As you can see here, the cryptos, US futures markets, Forex markets, even some equity markets if your broker provides those. Scanners are the most awesome tool in the world because they do all the work for you in the background, letting you know when everything lines up and when the trade is there. And I don't even have to be tied down to my office. I can take it with me as a mobile device. So that's nice too. Everything is backed up in the cloud, and you can share all of your configurations with all of your other trading partners as well. Did you notice the pullback in the euro US dollar here? The 1 minute showed that. So on the scanner, you would have seen the first cell go red. But if you looked at the 5 minute, the 5 minutes stayed at the same time, the 5 minutes stayed green. So that's the beauty of trading in harmony with the longer term. When you start to get these signals, it's not telling you to go short. It's telling you the possibility of a potentially good long trade, so that when the new signal comes up and trades long, then it's aligned, and then you can take that first signal to its logical conclusion, in this case of 13, 14 pips already from the start of that already in the bag. So getting these and using them to your advantage is very strategic and ideally set up. Tesla signals, absolutely. If you have a data feed for Tesla in your brokerage, then absolutely, it doesn't matter what the instrument is. Is there. The offer page is here. Pull that up for you. Use the MT4Professional.com/trial, and then click in MADHEDGE20, all caps, MADHEDGE20 as the code to get the 20% off of our 50% already discounted price. Manual, you see, you're a scalper and you want to be able to change the symbols, absolutely. Under the configuration, select edit. Over here on the left is the scanner panel. From here, you can change any symbol. So by clicking on this panel, whatever symbols that are listed over here, if you have any symbol you want to change, here I want to limit everything to just US dollar symbols. Then you can see I have everything that's listed as a US dollar pair can be selected and chosen. And I can change, update, delete anything that I've got. So I can clear them all. I can pick any specific pair that I want and start populating my list with them. And if I don't want one in the order, I can always just drag and move them around the way I like it. And one doesn't fit, I can get rid of it. I can clear the list. I can start from another configuration. Where was it? Yeah. So that automatically pulls the list in from any other configuration that I already had set up. Right. So that's the nice thing about the setups. It's very easy, menu-driven, user-friendly setup. Okay, Manuel. MT4Professional.com/trial Mad Hedge Fund to get your 20% off of our current price. All right, I think that does it for me today. John, are you there?
You bet I am, listening to every word. If you want to take advantage of Randy's discount offer, just click on the chat box on the right. You'll find it over there, MT4Professional.com. And great presentation.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Look
it.
forward to meeting you next time I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
You're more than welcome. Absolutely. Thank you, John.
And have you back in the fall. And who knows where the Dow average will be by then? Could be at zero. The current rate of depreciation.
That's right. Maybe. Might not go all the way to zero, but it might be close.
Yeah, it might get down to single digits.